Okay, my name is Bobby Vaught. A little bit more about Kamala Harris, her economics, her tax policies, all of that. This is absolutely bizarre. So now we're seeing numerous articles. Kamala Harris, unrealized gains tax. She's talking about taxing unrealized capital gains. In other words, before somebody even sells the stock, they tax dividends. First off, you're already double taxed. You buy shares of, I don't know, pick something, anything, Pepsi. So they pay the dividends. So first, the corporation is taxed. That's a tax on you. You own it. With what's left over, they can pay a dividend. That's taxable. She's talking about taxing unrealized gains. Historically, you don't pay a tax until you actually on the capital gain until you sell it. Until then, you haven't realized any gain. You haven't put that cash in your account. This is absolutely absurd. Potentially could lead to things like somebody paying taxes on losses. Example: you buy shares of something at pick anything at $100 a share. It goes to 120. They want to tax that as a unrealized gain, even though you haven't sold. What if it goes back to 90 bucks? Then what? In effect, they've taxed a loss. They've taxed you to lose money. That is absolutely absurd. Ridiculous. We're not paying that. Oh, the articles that I'm seeing here, full of language like the potential for Kamala Harris to push a 25% unrealized gains tax is worrisome as it could drive wealth out of the United States. Yeah, no kidding. You know why? Because before I even read that, my first reaction was, I'll just move it somewhere else. Singapore doesn't even have a capital gains tax. We'll just exercise capital flight. The United States is not the only place to invest money, and you can do that with the click of a couple of buttons. You can just move it. You don't actually have to move there. We can find places to invest where the government is more patriotic to us than this bullshit. We're not paying that. They're going to end up with less tax revenue because of these kind of taxes. They're just going to cause capital flight. People are just going to move. They're just going to move their investments elsewhere. I know I would darn well consider it. Singapore, and I forgot from reading this, like Singapore and 7 other countries don't even have a capital gains tax. They tax dividends. Unfreaking believable. This is mind-numbing, ridiculous stuff. The Democrats do not understand economics. Why does California have the number one in gas tax, number one in the nation in gas tax, number one in the nation in business regulations, number one in the nation in state income tax, and they have a $48 billion deficit in California? Yeah, no kidding. Why? Because they drive the tax base out of the state. That's the reason. It's the reason you see all these companies leaving California. Democrats do not understand economics. They're completely clueless. Unfreaking believable. Just not going to pay it. It's not being a tax cheat. It's just going tax shopping. You just find a government that's more patriotic to you. Pay them the tax, not this one. This is absolutely mind-numbing, ridiculous stuff. A tax on unrealized gains. Unrealized gains. You don't know what the gain is until you realize it. It goes from $100 to $200. Well, it's not a gain until you actually sell it. Potentially, by the way, you even could end up with situations like you have an unrealized gains in your home, value of your home. The value of your home, maybe you own the home 30 years. The price, the value goes up. Are they going to tax that? Where's the money coming from? You're going to force people to sell their home to pay the tax on an unrealized gain? You're going to force people to sell the stock to pay the tax on an unrealized gain. That is mind-numbingly ridiculous, absurd, F-U, not going to happen, baby. Try it and watch what happens. We'll just move it somewhere else. We'll find a government, we'll find some place to invest where that government is more patriotic to us. Gone. Unfreaking believable.